Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about the pros and the cons to aesthetic nursing. I feel like aesthetic nursing is crazy different than working in the hospital for so many different reasons. There are a lot of great reasons to be an aesthetic nurse. I love it so much. It is by far my favorite thing I've ever done, but that doesn't mean there aren't any cons. So I want to talk with you guys about what those pros and cons are so that you can make a really informed decision when considering becoming an aesthetic nurse. If you hear construction going on in the background, I apologize. Since we moved into this place, every lot around our apartment has been under construction, working right outside my garage door. I'll try to talk loud enough to be over it. All right, we're gonna start with some of the pros to aesthetic nursing. Start off on a good note. The first and most obvious pro to being an aesthetic nurse is that it's on day shift. I struggled on nights for years and wanted to get away. I could not get off night shift nursing when I was in the hospital. So now that I'm working in aesthetics, it is day shift and I love that. And it's shorter hour days. So you're not working 12 to 13 hour days. I work anywhere from 4 to maybe 8 hour days, if that, and make more money, which is really cool. Another pro is flexibility. I work 2 days a week, maybe more. It's very flexible. If I have appointments and stuff, I just let them know and we work around my schedule. It's not like in the hospital where someone has to be there 24/7 all the time. I have a lot more flexibility with my schedule, which is incredible. It's very artistic, which I really like. I don't know why. I feel like especially with like micro needling, there's just all these like cool things you can do and you get really good at it, and it's like an art. Doing Botox, doing filler. It's all an art to make someone look very symmetrical and very nice, very aesthetically pleasing. I love it. It's very artistic, and I realize the longer I work in this field that I am a lot more artistic than I thought I was. Another pretty obvious pro is the money. The money in aesthetic nursing is a lot better than hospital or outpatient. Of course, it's not as good as like travel nursing, but in a way I feel like the quality of life is a lot better, so it kind of makes up for it. But I definitely make more money working as an aesthetic nurse than I did in the hospital because you get your hourly, you get tips, you get commission, and often you'll get bonuses. So that really all rolls together for a pretty nice payout. It's no secret that services at med spas are pretty expensive, so you usually get a percentage of that in commission. Patients like to tip the nurses usually. Sometimes places offer bonuses if you hit a certain number of sales. The hourly is sometimes better too. So you could really make a lot of money doing aesthetic nursing. Of course, that's not the only reason you should go into it. There are so many other things that go into it. If you're just in it for the money, you're probably gonna hate your life because there are a lot of people that would just hate what I do every day. That's not the kind of nursing they're interested in, but if you are interested in it, a little bonus is that the money is pretty good. Something I really like is that it's not essential or life-saving, and I might have not liked that a few years ago. I loved working in the emergency department. I loved working labor and delivery until my anxiety just got out of control. I've talked about that kind of at length at this point. I loved being a part of all the life-saving in crazy town and, nonsense that was the emergency department and labor and delivery at a high-risk unit. But if you also have a lot of anxiety around making one small mistake and having this horrible outcome, or all the stress of being an inpatient nurse where these people are dying and there's all these problems and they're coming in super sick or with all these problems and they're going to lose their life and their kid's life, and oh my god, aesthetic nursing is not like that. It's great. The most stress I literally have ever had was we were running behind on appointments, and one time we had a girl faint in the waiting room and she was fine. It's way less stressful. My next point was that it's very low stress. So just bundle that in there. Not stressful at all. Another pro of aesthetic nursing is that it's a marriage of business and nursing together, whereas in the hospital there really is no business side of it, but because you have the possibility of making more money the better you do, the commission, all of that, and potentially owning your own med spa, you get that business side of it, owning your own business or helping a small business grow, running a business with nursing, which I really, really enjoy. I almost went to school for marketing. Eventually I wanted to own my own business. Aesthetic nursing is a great mix of those if you're interested in that kind of thing. Another huge pro is the patients are usually really fun and they come in super happy because they're excited for their treatment, they're excited for their Botox, they're excited for their filler. They come in a great mood, and I love that. It's so fun. Very different than the emergency department where they come in actively screaming, or labor and delivery where they're in the most pain they've ever been in their life. People are usually a lot happier. I love the continued education, the seminars, all the different things that go with aesthetic nursing. I love when reps from different filler or neurotoxin brands, lasers come in and they buy us lunch and they do a little training or a little info session. It's just fun. I enjoy that kind of thing. It's very low stress. Yeah, they're trying to get you to buy something, but still it's really a good time, and I always enjoy when they come in. That's a really fun thing that we didn't have in the hospital. I think another huge pro is that the burnout is a lot less in aesthetic nursing. I don't know a lot of aesthetic nurses that get super burnt out. Maybe that's incorrect. I feel like because there's such a great work-life balance and it's so fun that the burnout is a lot less than hospital nursing. And then the final pro is if you are interested in like owning your own business or growing or having that like potential to make a ton of money, owning your own med spa is a possibility. You can own your own med spa. You usually have to have a medical director or like an NP to open it with you if you're an RN. It depends on the state, of course. NPs will be able to own med spas in California, I think next year. So if you want to do it completely on your own, you could be an NP, or you can partner with an NP or an MD that you love and you guys can open a med spa together. Very fun. I love small med spas that are owned by really great people. I love going in there and like supporting their business versus like a chain. There's benefits to both. It's something I love about aesthetic nursing. Okay, we're gonna talk about some of the cons to aesthetic nursing. Of course, nothing is perfect. There are pros and cons to everything. So some of the cons to aesthetic nursing. One con with aesthetic nursing is that hospitals are super desperate right now, and I almost feel kind of like guilty that I'm not working in the hospital with my nursing degree. That's probably maybe a personal one, but I feel guilty when I hear about how much hospitals are drowning and losing nurses in droves. Now, I feel like that's kind of a problem because of the way nurses are being treated and the pay and the hours, but like we won't even go there. But I do feel guilty sometimes because I'm at work like having the best day of my life, and I know people that went to school for the same thing as me are drowning and just surrounded by death, and that's sad. And I wish things would change so that nurses can be paid more and can have more rights in the hospital, but this is not activist hour. That is one con. So another con of aesthetic nursing is it does take more days if you do want to work full time because it's not 12 or 13-hour shifts. In the hospital, I worked 3 nights and that was full time. I am not hitting full time right now. If I wanted to work full time, I'd have to work 4 or 5 days a week, most likely. Shorter days means more days to hit full time. One con is that you are responsible for someone's face and how it turns out. You have to take that very seriously. It's a lot of responsibility. You have to really know what you're doing and make sure that you are very careful. Another con is that not everybody gets the same results, and sometimes people get negative results or bad results. Everything we like inject into someone's face is a medication. It's not going to work the same for everybody. Sometimes Botox or Jeuveau or Xeomin works really great on one person and doesn't work great on another person, or gives them weird results, or it works differently. Sometimes filler looks great on one person and then another person it just doesn't. They like swell or they don't get the results that they were hoping for. It's a medication. It's hard, especially with like even lasers or IPL, laser hair removal. You don't always know if it's going to work until you do it, and that is hard because you have to invest money without knowing if you're going to be able to get results from it. And sometimes that makes people upset because they're spending money and not getting results. It's something you just have to like work with them. That can be a little bit stressful. This is a con that doesn't necessarily bother me, but I could see how it would bother somebody. I should just do like a video of the DMs I get sometimes because they're absolutely ridiculous. I constantly get told that I'm not a nurse now that I work in a med spa. They're like, that's not a nurse, you're just a receptionist at this point, which doesn't make any sense. Being told you're not a nurse is a con of working in a med spa because people will say you're not a real nurse because you're not working in the hospital. This con is actually kind of serious. You don't usually or always have insurance or benefits depending on where you work. At either place I've worked, I was not offered insurance or benefits. I didn't work full time, and I don't even know if the full-time employees were offered that. Thankfully, I am getting married in 6 months, so I will get insurance through that once that happens. But for the time being, I don't have great insurance. When I worked in the hospital full-time on nights, I had insurance for me and my son, dental, vision, all of that. Something you need to consider, like you are making more money at a med spa, but you might have to pay for insurance. So if you're married, that might not be a huge thing for you, or if you're on your parents' insurance still, that might not be a huge thing for you. I want to like clarify that. I've had a few people ask me about that, and no, I am not getting insurance or benefits right now. So those are the pros and the cons of being an aesthetic nurse. I feel the pros far outweigh the cons. I love being an aesthetic nurse. I love working in the med spa. I have never been this fulfilled in a job in my life. It's incredible, and I don't think I'll ever change from it. I encourage you, if you're interested, to try it out. It's phenomenal. I'm going to continue to make content about it because it's so fun. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to me on my aesthetic nurse Instagram. It is aesthetic nurse Amy. I'll link to it in the description and put my handle here on screen. I would love for you to come over there, send me a DM, tell me what you thought of this video or an idea you have for a video in the future. Or if you just have a question, I would love to answer it. I might not answer it right away, but as soon as I get some time, I will go through them and answer them and try to give you a great long-winded response. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.